Dealer can't get to it for another week or so. I got several things that I want to do before then. There's it is there. So I'm gonna go ahead. Went down, bought the filters and the oil and things like that, and so we're gonna get that done today. Looks like I need to take it in for some warranty repair. I got a leak around the condenser. We'll get this started. Try to get this finished. It's kind of windy. I want to get it done today because it's going to cool off later on. So here we go. Okay, we're gonna have two bolts. One here. I got one over there. I'm gonna take those out. They were not very tight. I was surprised they weren't tight. A lot of guys were saying how tight they are, but I use an 18mm wrench, and they was very, very loose. So they wasn't tight as I thought they would be. But anyway, drop those two plugs, and all will start coming out of there. Alright, there's one. And it has the washer still on it, so that's good. Did it here? Washers with it. Okay, real close up into the it's up close by the hose. The hose actually leans up on it, so you have to get a good grip, but it's loose. I've had it to turn. I was trying to put some rag in there just to keep it from leaking. Okay, I've taken the side panel off. You don't have to, but I did just to make sure the seal don't leak. And then I had trouble getting it lined up because it fits so close to that hose. So it was just easy for me to take the side panel off, get my thread started, and tighten it back up. And so, but that hose fits very, very close, and it actually lays against the filter. So that's why I took the side panel off. I put 4 quarts in. Put 4 quarts in, and this is what I'm gonna fire it up, let it run for a few minutes, then check it again, and probably add, because the book says 4.2 quarts, so I got 4 in there, and I'm gonna add this. So the manual makes it clear, as long as it's in that area there, it's okay. All levels acceptable in this range. And so I had it on the upper end of there, but I did not go over the top line. Tucked the 5th quart, went in and went 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1006, and it kind of put it to that spot there. And the book says anything between the 2 holes is acceptable. So it was in good shape. I just wanted to top it off a little bit. So we're done now. I'm gonna crank it up, let it run a little bit, and then do the other 2 filters, and wrap this up and tighten up everything. It's real windy today, so the noise may be down. But I taped off the vent hose. Read online on one of the forums, if you tape that off, that'll help slow it down. Some suggest that the vacuum is kind of more of a pain. So I'm just gonna try to tape it off right there, do that one, and then try to change it out fast as possible. We'll do the HST filter first, and then go over and do the transmission filter next. Okay, this is the HST filter, part number, and the filter came from the dealer. A sealed plastic bag, which I think is a good idea. I'm gonna take it out, right on the back of it, the hours and the date, and then get that changed out. So I left the plastic on it till I get ready to turn it. And so here we go. Let's see what happens. So all was clean that came out the HST. I dropped it there, but I didn't see any medical particles or anything. So I made the decision earlier not to change the fluid right now, just follow manufacturer's recommendations. But there it is, HST filter's off. Now I'm gonna do the transmission filter. Not making a difference, but I decided to crank it, let that HST filter get full before I change the other one. It may or may not make any difference. So we'll fire it up here and then check for leaks. Now I changed the transmission filter. I messed around, didn't get it on video, and it did leak something, but I think it leaked less than I thought. So I did not use the vacuum. Get a little bit tight here, and all right. Didn't see no metal shavings or anything. Maybe some fine particles in there, but the fluid look came out pretty good, like it's supposed to. So, like I stated earlier, I decided not to change it. So I figured I'm probably going to end up putting maybe 2 quarts in it at the most, but it didn't lose that much. Unfortunately, I didn't have the camera on to show you, so I'm gonna unplug the vent, then check it, and then fire it up, at least get it to the bottom line, and then check for leaks and stuff like that. Okay. I'll leave it up here. Okay, here's a funnel that I only use for putting hydraulic fluid. I don't use it for anything else, and I keep a little plug in it all the time. And I usually blow it out with a blow dryer before I with the air hose before I use it. So just probably right at 24 ounces. So I'm gonna just go ahead and pull the whole thing in, and then we'll check it from there. Stick, but I'm gonna check it just to see. Take another rag here. Can't be true. That seems to fill it up, but I doubt it. Sure does. It's dripping off the stick. Well, let me fire it up and see what happened after that. Loader, I lifted the 3-point hitch. There it is, still got it dripping off of the stick, so it's in good shape. Very surprised. I thought I would lose a whole lot more than that. I topped off the hydraulic fluid, crank it up, let it get a little bit warm. The temperature is on the 2nd bar, so it is pretty warm. The engine is pretty warm. I've checked the oil, topped it off. Now it's time to do the other things for the 50-hour service. 7 grease fittings. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's what the book shows, but it's actually 7 on each side. Pop these 2 off here, and don't forget about the little small. Don't forget about this. Make sure there's nothing in here. Let's go to cleaning now. So we'll take that, make sure that put that back on, and then we'll pull the air filter out. It's a gentle twist on it, and looks pretty good. I'm gonna blow it out from the inside, wipe a little dust off. I've cleaned it once at 10 hours, so I was just checking it again as part of the 50-hour service. The belts and hoses look good, coolant is full, battery cable, no corrosion or anything like that. And it's got a little blood here. And I think the part in there looks good. So I'm gonna blow this out. Put the cover back. So the filters blow out. It did have a little dust in it, but you can still see the light through it. Shine the light in it, you can still see the light. So probably at 75 hours, I may just go ahead and put another in it. It's just pretty dusty here when I'm brush hogging and stuff like that. So, but right now, I'm just gonna put it in, put it back in. It has an arrow on it that goes to the top. Have to tighten the loader bolts on both sides. It's probably a total of 10 on one side, and there are about 5 or 6 of the other sides. I need a 19mm socket and a 22mm socket, torque wrench, and a regular wrench. We're going to check the front tires on both sides. Okay, so we got the 50-hour service done. Probably could have been a little faster, but finally got it all done. Got it all greased. All the fluids changed except for the hydraulic oil. I did not change it. Probably at 75, maybe 100, I may change the front and change all the back. Just depends on how I work, but we saw how it came out clean. I didn't see any large particles or anything like that. And the filters were not exceedingly tight. Like a lot of people online said the filters were so tight that they couldn't get them off. But I just took it over regular. You saw what I used. Oil filter wrench and got them all off pretty good. So it stands to have no leaks. And so what I'm gonna do now is look at this exhaust. I bought a pipe on Amazon. I'm gonna try to turn it down. But the B2650 50-hour service is done. The only grid I have, I bought 4 quarts of hydraulic fluid, and I didn't use it because I already had 2 here that I keep for emergency. And as you saw, it only took about 24 ounces. So if you want to use the vacuum trick, you can, but I don't think it's necessary. And again, my hydro fluid and stuff was all cold, so I didn't warm the engine up. Only just the engine was warm when I changed the oil. Other than that, I think it's pretty good. I do have an AC leak. Get that fixed one day before the spring. But other than that, I plan on working and finishing everything up. I got to keep an eye on my U-joints on the PTO shaft. It was hard taking grease. I took a little deal and poked the little ball in the grease fitting, and it seemed to take more grease. But I may just take it off one day once I park it for the winter and then fix it up. But it's done. I may change the fuel filter before the spring, and but that's something I just think about and get some more information on. Okay. Other than that, we're good.